Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah Sperber and I'm a realtor in the Northern Nevada housing market. On today's video, I thought it would be kind of fun to do a little bit of a Mythbusters theme for common misconceptions about selling your home. So I'm not gonna waste any time, you guys. I'm just gonna dive right in. Of course, if you have any questions about the selling or buying process, I would love to be a resource for you. You can book a free call with me. There's a link in the description box below. And we are just gonna dive in. So myth number one is that you should overprice your home to leave a little wiggle room for negotiations in hopes that when a buyer underbids your asking price that you can kind of work your way down to, what you were hoping to net. And that is wrong, my friends. You don't want to be doing that. That is a myth. What actually happens is if something's overpriced, especially compared to other listings that are similar and on the market or things that have recently sold or are under contract, people are going to realize that it's overpriced and it's going to sit there. It's going to become stigmatized. And eventually, depending on how badly you want to sell it, you're going to end up doing all of these price reductions, which just gives it more or less a bad reputation. People are going to be seeing that and they're going to start to wonder what the heck is wrong with your house. And you don't want that out there. And also something to keep in mind is the timeline for ideal sales and traffic. Basically, when you list a home, the first week is kind of like people gaining awareness. Week 2 is what I call peak week. That's when you're going to have the maximum amount of eyeballs, traffic, showings, if you do this right, pricing wise, on your listing. And then from week 3 and beyond, if you still haven't sold it, especially with our current market conditions, you're gonna see a steep decline in traffic. That's not what we want. We want to get it right, strike while the iron's hot, get that house in contract by peak week, which is week 2. So that only happens if you price it correctly. Myth number 2 is that renovating your entire home is gonna help it sell faster and for more money. Here's the reality, you guys. Not all investments and renovations actually up the value of your home, and it's really hard to get a true dollar for dollar match on many things that people think they have to update. And you also want to keep in mind that while you might like the new blue wallpaper, the next buyer might come in and just paint it white again anyway. So you don't necessarily want to make too many modifications, updates. I mean, yeah, if something's super duper outdated, you got the 90s cabinetry, maybe throw some paint on them. I mean, don't throw it. Hire a professional who can do that, because painting cabinetry is actually a lot of work. Have your agent, hopefully me, come over to your home and actually give you specific advice on what should happen, because you don't want to go into this with a net loss already on the horizon for you. If you put a lot of money into renovating, that can really cut into your net ROI. And you don't actually have to have like a freshly remodeled home in order for it to sell. All right, myth number 3 is that selling without a real estate agent saves you a lot of money. Statistically, on average, a home will sell for about 10 to 20% higher if listed by a real estate agent than by a FSBO. If you didn't know, that stands for sale by owner. These are people who try to sell their house on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. And in addition to netting a higher ROI with having an agent, typically you also, protect yourself from a lot of liability. We are professionals. We do this all day, every day. We understand the process. We understand the contracts. We know what you should be looking out for in order to protect your equity, your investment, your liability. I would say you definitely want to hire an agent. Myth number 4 is that open houses are actually essential for selling your home. That's not to say that your house can't be sold at an open house. Theoretically, the perfect buyer could just march in and make an offer, but typically what's actually happening at an open house is the agent who's working it is they're collecting on the sign-in sheet that everyone has to sign when they enter your name, your email address, your phone number. So really what an open house does is it provides more leads for agents to work. So if I have a listing, if a seller really wants me to hold an open house, I'm more than happy to do that, but that's not the most efficient way to really get it sold, in my opinion. The next myth is that you should always accept the highest offer you receive. Sometimes people will give you a full price offer, but then in the additional terms, they're actually going to be asking you for a seller credit to buy down the interest rate or, make extra repairs or replace things or whatever. And that's going to cut into your net ROI, so you want to be looking carefully for that. You also want to be looking at all the contingencies. Sometimes if somebody's making a cash offer, they'll waive the appraisal, and in certain market climates, that can actually lead to thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars of higher net ROI for you. If you're worried that appraisals are going to come in low, or if your agent's telling you, appraisals are coming in low, you're going to want to make sure that you are ironclad against that. If you don't know what that means, just reach out. I'll explain that whole part of the process to you. All right, you guys, do you have any other myths or common questions about buying or selling? I can help you. If you're thinking about selling your home in the Reno area or buying, I would love to be of assistance to you. You can book a free call with me. There's a link in the description box below. We can just hop on a call whenever it's convenient for you, get your questions answered, help you define and outline your next and best steps for a winning transaction. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. I put out new videos every single week about the Reno Sparks lifestyle, the Northern Nevada housing market, and of course, all things to do with buying and selling real estate. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.